When you look at the world's most valuable companies, names like Apple, Microsoft, and Google are expected to be at the top of the list. However, one name that stands out among them is Tencent, which is worth more than Facebook, MasterCard, and Samsung. It is involved in almost every industry you can think of worldwide, earning the moniker Octopus for its far-reaching tentacles. So what does Tencent the Octopus really do? Another point to think about is, if Tencent is worth more than Facebook, MasterCard, and Samsung, then why don't we hear about it all that much? And how far does this octopus spread its tentacles? Today, in this video, we answer all these burning questions, so keep watching till the end. While Tencent may not be a household name in most parts of the world, it dominates the lives of people in its home country, China. It has achieved the seemingly impossible by creating an app called WeChat, known as the Everything app, or the operating system of China. Nearly all of China's 1.4 billion population use this app for an average of 4 hours daily, more than the average American spends on all social media apps combined. WeChat is essentially every app rolled into one, from Facebook, PayPal, and WhatsApp to Netflix, Google, and Spotify. People pay their bills, call their friends, and live their entire lives through this app. However, there is a price to pay for such convenience. Tencent has access to literally all user data, from their location to their entire bank history to every message, call, and search ever made. Moreover, the line between Tencent and the Chinese government is blurry, meaning the Chinese Communist Party has access to this information as well, making WeChat one of the most potent surveillance tools ever created. Private messages and images sent through Tencent's apps are scanned for censorable content, with the best case scenario being the message's non-delivery. Worst case, however, is ending up in jail or simply disappearing, like a citizen who made a lighthearted joke about a government official and found himself jailed. Tencent's influence extends beyond China, with the company investing heavily in companies such as Reddit, Tesla, Discord, Spotify, Snapchat, and Universal Music. They are also the largest gaming company in the world, with their gaming division alone being bigger than the entire companies of Nintendo or Sony. Tencent's payments division is nearly as big as PayPal's entire business, and its WeChat Pay reportedly generates over 1 billion payment transactions per day, which is more than Visa and MasterCard combined. Tencent is also involved in esports, Tencent Music, and even Hollywood movies like Men in Black. Tencent tries to keep both China and the rest of the world happy, and partly because Pony Ma is introverted and simply doesn't like being in the spotlight. Growing up, Pony Ma was a quiet kid who mostly went unnoticed throughout his school years. In fact, Tencent began by ripping off someone else's idea. One day, while browsing online, Pony stumbled across ICQ, an internet chat platform that was pretty groundbreaking at the time, letting any two people online have a private conversation in real time. With 3 friends from school, he launched their own duplicate chat service that was more catered to the Chinese market, and named it OICQ. At first, very few people knew OICQ existed. To encourage people to use the service, Pony even pretended to be a girl in chat rooms to keep users company. Moreover, Tencent got a letter from AOL's lawyers demanding they stop using the name OICQ since they were violating intellectual property laws. This was bad news since OICQ had 1 million users by then and was growing rapidly. The small Tencent team had to do freelance work on the side to raise money to pay the rising server costs. They were all working crazy hours and were barely making ends meet. He contacted IDG Capital, China's most prominent venture capital fund, and used an unusual tactic in his pitch: brutal honesty. He admitted that Tencent was unsure about how to monetize their chat software, but millions of Chinese people liked using it and saw real value in it. IGG Capital was impressed with Pony's honesty and agreed to invest $2.2 million for 40% of Tencent's business. Tencent discovered SayClub.com, a Korean website that allowed people to create personalized avatars, which they could dress up with customizable appearances and clothing. This feature was popular in Korea, and Tencent decided to copy the idea and launch their own avatar feature inside QQ, calling it QQ Show. For a small fee, users could buy designer clothes, accessories, and styles for their characters, which added up quickly through microtransactions, costing Tencent nothing. The sale of these virtual items helped QQ to cross 100 million users in China. Tencent would also take smaller stakes in companies like Riot Games, Epic Games, and Activision Blizzard. Through these investments, Tencent was able to bring popular games like League of Legends, Fortnite, and Call of Duty to China. They also saw the potential of mobile gaming, which was rapidly growing in popularity around the world. So they began acquiring and investing in mobile game developers like Supercell, the Finnish company behind Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. All of these investments and acquisitions paid off handsomely for Tencent, as they quickly became the largest gaming company in the world, with a portfolio of games that spanned from PC to mobile. In 2011, Tencent launched WeChat, a messaging app that quickly gained popularity in China. Within the app, they introduced a feature called Moments, which was their version of Facebook or Instagram. It was a real-time social media feed of posts, images, and articles. After being launched in 2012, WeChat's success continued as it gained even more users. By 2013, it had reached 300 million users. The most crucial feature for WeChat that turned it into the super app it is today and dominates the lives of almost everyone in China is mini-programs. In January 2017, WeChat launched this feature, which allows users to access tens of thousands of other apps within WeChat's own app, bypassing the need for an app store. In China, the dominant ride-sharing platform, Didi has its own mini-program within WeChat, which means users don't need a separate app for things like ordering food delivery or tracking parcels. In fact, WeChat has a mini-program for pretty much everything, making it an all-in-one everything app that has become a vital part of many Chinese citizens' daily lives. Unlike many of the big tech giants in the West, such as Facebook and Google, Tencent doesn't rely heavily on advertising revenue. Estimates suggest that possibly around 100 million people use it outside of China, most of whom are Chinese expats living abroad or people needing to connect with others who are in China. The outbreak of COVID-19 was actually great for Tencent's revenue. People were at home on their phones more than ever, which meant using their services and playing their games more. But Tencent began to face a lot more scrutiny in 2020. Donald Trump began threatening to ban WeChat and other Chinese apps. Tencent generated $86 billion in 2021 alone, and $35 billion of net profit, making them one of the most profitable companies. Amnesty International conducted a report on how messaging apps handle data, which focused on human rights. Tencent was found to be the worst offender by far, being the only company to score 0 out of 100 for its treatment of data. The report cited issues with transparency and how Tencent uses and shares data, and also highlighted the company's lack of denial about providing the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, with a backdoor to access encrypted messages. While it's common for Chinese companies to have some ties to the CCP, Tencent is unique because it has been allowed to monopolize entire industries in China and use brutal tactics to eliminate competitors without any regulatory interference. In exchange for this freedom, many believe that Tencent has become a weapon for the Chinese government. The CCP has thousands of members inside Tencent, including party officials on the Tencent executive board who can influence decisions. The Chinese government used WeChat for population control during the initial COVID outbreak, assigning color codes to determine people's health status and eligibility to leave their homes. Tencent has also been ordered to conform to Communist Party values and add facial recognition to their games, so kids can only play for a maximum of 90 minutes per day. And if you know, you know that China does not like free speech. Now, with a market capitalization of over $800 billion, Tencent has become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Tell us in the comments about what topic should we focus on. Up next, if you found this video really interesting, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us. And oh, don't forget to press the bell icon.